Hi, does this start at 5?
It does.
Okay, I'll get my husband.
Okay.
Thanks.
Hey, Barry.
Kevin. You might as well do the plate. You're
Huh?
here.
Oh, I don't care.
Yeah, I would rather you did.
Yeah, well, you can move the cursor again, the arrow.
Yeah, I'll manage the slideshow. You've already gone through it at least once, so.
What did you think?
Huh?
I thought it was all right.
Oh, I did too.
Some stupid effing questions, though.
Yeah, well. Not a surprise. Yeah. Brian Mateo, you need a haircut.
Great. Sorry, it's me. I'm trying to change the picture, but it's not working.
Okay.
He's on my work computer, so.
Now you need to own it.
52.
Can you hear me, Barry?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, great, great. How about you, Kevin?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Andy, I'm gonna let Kevin do the play. He's been through it already, so
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
he'll do a better job than me. I know he will.
Maybe.
Well, if he doesn't, I'll speak up.
All right.
Yeah, okay. And questions are going to be directed towards Barry. Barry, are you going to let the members know how to ask a question if they have it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
now I would
actually,
caution them. I would caution them if they are thinking about a question so much that that question's bothering them while we're doing this. They might miss two. You know how quick this went through. They might miss 2 or 3 points, so they're better off
yeah.
holding off. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, we already talked about it. We're gonna have him
Okay,
send
good.
we're gonna have him send a text to Jeff Benson. He's
Okay.
gonna queue up the, you can send them to Jeff and me, because some of the people may not have Jeff's email and
Okay.
phone number, so.
All right, can you let them know,
Yeah.
or if I think about it, I will, but if they have a question that they have directed at a specific individual to ask, you know, Danny, well, I know it'll be coming from Jeff, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay,
Right.
good.
Hey, Barry.
Hi, Jeff.
Mr. Benson,
Hey, Dan.
how you doing today?
We're hanging in there.
Hey, Jeff, why
Yes.
don't you send a chat message to everybody on this call with your phone number, so they can send the messages to you?
Okay,
That way, because I know that I see some people that might not know your phone number.
got it. All right.
Hey, Barry,
Yeah,
was this gonna be recorded as well for anyone that couldn't see it or?
yeah, it's being recorded now. So
Okay,
be careful what you say.
In the Central Maine umpires know that all the interpreters from the other boards are gonna be in listening, Barry?
They don't, but we'll mention it, because I think there's some other people as well.
Okay.
I don't know,
Now,
Kevin.
who
I
would the
don't-
other people? Who would the other people be?
Well, I don't know if Kevin shared it with people that might have missed the meeting last week, which is okay, or anybody that joins in is not gonna be a problem. I mean,
Yeah.
I see other people from the KS board that, besides interpreters, so
Okay,
no harm done there.
no, the more people that hear it, I think the better.
Yeah.
Because then they can hear it twice.
All right, Barry, I typed it in. How do you just get it sent? That's all.
Okay, so the standard is for it to go to everyone,
That's what I've done to everyone, yeah.
and then you hit the return, as soon as you hit the return key, it should send.
Okay. There it is. Okay, got it.
We're up to 45 people now, 43, 44, 45, yeah.
Yeah, we'll start right at 5, right?
Yeah,
Okay, sounds good. Now, is everybody out there gonna be muted except the people speaking?
yes, I'll mute everybody once we get everybody in here.
Now, do I need them to tell them that? That they're gonna be muted so they don't, or do they expect that?
Well, we'll just do I'll do a quick introduction here on
Okay,
the process, and that would be part of it.
okay, sounds good. You running your motorcycle this summer, Barry?
I am, but I'm not in any hurry to get it out.
Well, I'm taking mine in next week, Wednesday, to get it tuned up and all that stuff. And so I tried starting it today, but it was a little too cold during the winter. It didn't start. So I'm going to tow it out Tuesday and get it checked up Wednesday. It'll be on the road.
Yeah, well, it's still a lot of sand out there.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah,
But if you don't get it in the shop in March, it
Yeah.
sets there, it gets there in April, everybody has them in there. It sets in there for 2 weeks before they can touch it. But if you get it in March, you can get it back in a couple days. That's why I always do it in March.
Let's see here. 5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock, and I'm sure there'll be a few people that come in afterwards. But anyway,
Let's do
we'll get the thing started here. I'm going to share my screen here.
And priority should be the first one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's the cover page. Good.
I'm still letting people in, so. Okay, well, it's 5, a little bit after 5, so I want to welcome everybody to this Central Maine Board clinic. It's a very important one. Matter of fact, it's a special one that wasn't on the calendar originally. It has to do with two-man mechanics with the plate umpire working behind the mound, which is, you know, one of the possibilities for the way we operate this spring. Matter of fact, it's a likely possibility. So, you know, Central Maine umpires, we have guests here today. We have the state interpreter, Dan Deshays. We have Kevin Joyce, who's the interpreter for Western Maine and also the liaison to the baseball committee. He's going to help with the presentation today. And we also have the 5 board interpreters, other 5 board interpreters that were invited to this, so they can turn around and share this presentation with their membership. We'll send them the PowerPoint presentation after the fact. And I'm sure if any one of them wants to have some assistance, either from Danny or Kevin or myself, you know, we'll pitch in if that's what they'd like to have. So with that, we'll get it started. I will say this, you know, try to stay on mute throughout, because we're going to go through this without any questions being asked during the presentations. But what we have set up is, if you would like to ask a question, or you don't want to forget and wait, you know, and wait until the end, then send a text to Jeff Benson. He's forwarded his phone number to you. So send him a text with your question. Jeff will cue those questions, and at the end, he'll read them. And then either Kevin or Danny will respond to those questions. So with that, we'll get started. I'll advance the slides. And with that, Danny, do you have anything else you want to add?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I want to thank you. I want to thank you all for being here. The very good news is it looks like in sitting through the baseball committee meeting that we are going to have a baseball season. It's going to start on time. They're looking to have state and regional games. So it looks like we are going to have a season as of now. Now, with that, there has been rumors out there and stuff like that. So we wanted to give you a kind of a heads up why we're here. As of now, the MPA, the baseball committee, and the sports medicine committee have all decided that the plate umpire should be working out by the pitcher. Now, I know that scares some of us, and none of us want to do it. And by the time the first pitch is thrown, they might have already given us permission to get back behind the catcher. But my charge is a state interpreter, along with Jeff Benson as the officiating commissioner, Kevin as the umpire liaison, and myself as the state interpreter, and Barry helped put all these slides together. We were put in charge of coming up with a two-man system that would work. Barry, Kevin, and Jeff had 3 different systems that were out there around the country. I was looking at a couple other kind of radical ones. So between the 3 of us, we came up with what I believe is the best system in the United States for working with a umpire by the home plate umpire working by the pitcher. We're hoping by pitch 1, we're going to be back there. But you know what? We could be back there. Then halfway through the season, they could say, hey, you got to go back. So what our goal was to have every board in this state ready to go. When I was put on as the state assigner, my main mission that they put me on was to make sure that all the boards work the same way. So we put together I had it pretty much from pro baseball, the two-man system and stuff like that. But we get the whole state working together. So it didn't matter who you were working with. So with that in mind, Kevin Joyce through this presentation is going to be the plate umpire, and I'm going to be the base umpire. We're going to take you through every situation there is. It's under an hour. It's under an hour program, but this could be the most important information that you have on baseball for umpiring the whole year. And it might not mean anything if they tell us we can go back behind the pitcher, but we need to be ready to go either way. So with that in mind, let's look at priorities, Barry. Yeah.
It's up there.
So with that in mind, between the program that Jeff Benson, myself and Kevin have put together, the first priority in anything we made decisions on was making sure that we got balls and strikes right. We've got to be consistent with that. Okay. The next priority is fair foul. What do you say, fair foul? Well, if it's a foul ball, you're not going to have a play. So the next priority is to be in position to be able to call the fair or foul ball. Third priority that we took into consideration in putting this system together is the safes and outs. Obviously, balls and strikes and safes and outs is the name of the game. So safes and outs was our third priority on the list. And then we went to the fourth one, which is everything. The tag ups, the missed bases, the interference, the obstructions. So that was the fourth priority. The one glitch in this whole system is fair or foul. The worst coverage that we're going to have is a fair or foul shot down the third baseline that hits in the outfield or a bouncing ball over the bag. So with that in mind, if there's going to be a time when that shot is hit down there that you are going to have zero clue of what has just happened. In that case there, we've been instructed to call it a foul ball. And the reasoning behind that is now the offense has another chance to make a play and the defense has a chance to make another play. Whereas if you call a fair ball and if it was foul, now one team has gained a tremendous advantage. All right. Basic principles of a two-man system with the plate umpire in the field. Okay, here we go. If you go to the plate, you stay at the plate. Very basic, simple thing. Once you're there, you're going to stay there and take all plays at the plate. And the other ump is going to have all 3 other bases. Next principle. The plate umpire the plate umpire is going to take all plays at home plate that originate and start from the infield. So the base umpire because the base umpire has got to be ready for a play at first base. In that instance, I'd say, for example, you got a runner at third base, quick ground ball to the infield that goes to the plate. Home plate umpire has it because the play originated from the infield. Overthrows, a basic principle of this two-man system. If the ball is overthrown on the third base side, the plate umpire has to take the ball, whether it stays in play or out. If it's on the first base side, the base umpire has to take it. And that's pretty much common sense. Fourth principle, line drives, catches, no catches. If it's on the third base side, it obviously has to be the plate umpire that's taking the catch or no catch. Well, if the ball is on the first base side now, you have to look, is a glove coming at you? And this principle we've used all the time on 3- and 4-man systems. In that play, by what we mean the glove coming at you, if you have the first baseman fielding the ball towards second base, the plate umpire's got to take it. The glove is coming at him. So line drives on the right side, it's the, if the glove's coming at you, jump on it. Check swing, ask. We don't want to have somebody out there saying, oh, I'm not going to ask if it's a left-handed batter, right-handed batter, and the guy on the line. Sometimes from that line, you can see the barrel get out ahead of the handle. If you're not sure, you can ball it like your partner did, but ask. Don't go into the pregame and say, I'm not going to ask if it's the situation. If it's a check swing, go ahead and ask. Batter's interference and obstruction, the plays that happen at home plate, just like before, the plate umpire has the primary call. So give him that split second. He doesn't make the call and you saw it from the bases, take it. You have the secondary call on any of that stuff in there. Box. Basically in box, both umpires have the, can call any balk, but the one we want to, there's one situation we want you to be particularly careful of. With a right-handed pitcher, the plate umpire, because he's going to be working from the C position, we'll get to that. He is looking right at those hands set, and the first base umpire is not going to be able to see through the body. Likewise, if it's a left-handed pitcher, the umpire in the C position is not who's the plate umpire now, is not going to be able to see that stop. So in the stop, it's going to have to come from the base umpire. But every other balk, whoever sees it calls it, just like in the past. Okay, basic principles, plate umpire. Kevin, you're on, buddy.
All right, guys. Basics, you gotta be working the basic C position every play. This is where you're gonna start. And work as deep as makes you comfortable. All right, what you gotta remember every time is you gotta keep that 6-foot distance in. If the infield's in, you gotta come in. Okay? The plate umpire is gonna have all plays at second and third base. You're also gonna have plays at first base if your partner goes out. That guy's going to be on the line. He's going to go out. It's all yours. I'm going to have all the plays at the plate that originate from the infield and possible second plays in the infield. Possible. If something happens, there's a broken down play, I might have to take another base, but we're going to communicate on those. I'm going to have fair, foul, catch, no catch on balls hit on the third baseline. Guys, on fly balls, try to get to the line. And on the line drives, take your best shot. Bouncing balls, line drives over the bag. If you're not sure, we are recommending call foul. You're going to do it over. That way, you know, I think it's easier. It's better if we call it foul. Okay? If you're going to call it fair, make sure it's fair. Between innings, position yourself down the third baseline near the plate. That way you can count the warm-up throws, alert the catcher and the on-deck batter about the last pitch. Brush off the plate, remind the catcher to help clean the plate if there's no plays at the plate. Return to your C position. You can manage a game from there. You can't manage it out from C position or out in left field like I saw some guys do last year. You're better off coming down the plate area. Go ahead, Danny, with the base umpire.
Okay, basic principles with the base umpire. Gonna flip that, Barry, or?
Yeah.
Okay. I've got it anyways if it's not up there. Okay, the first one, you're going to be positioning yourself in the regular A position with no one on base. Very simple, like just same place we are now. With a runner on first base, you're gonna angle for the pickoff, just like in the 3-man system. Your right foot should be 1 inch from that line. You can't be off the line 4 or 5 feet because you have fair or foul now, everything up the first baseline. Another basic principle of the base umpire. You are also responsible for any initial plays at first base, which hasn't changed. You're right there. You're gonna get in a position as you normally would. Fourth one, rotate to the plate anytime a runner is heading to third base. So anytime the runner from second breaks and commits to third base, you are heading to the plate. And I'm hollering, Kevin, I'm at the plate. And that's going to be his key, that he has got all 3 bases. It doesn't matter where the runner originated from. And on tag up plays, fly balls to the outfield with a runner on third base, I'm going to hook around and I'm going to be taking that play at the plate. Before returning to the A position, if you end up going to the plate, brush off the plate if it needs it and hustle back. So you're going to have a plate brush, but brush off the plate, jog back to your position so we don't hold up the game. Obviously, you're responsible for any pickoff plays at first base. We're going to have the pickoff play. There are a lot of plays we're going to have covered better in this system. Responsible for troubled fly balls to center field, in and back, and toward the right field line. So the base umpire, just like we do now, if it's a troubled ball, you would be the one that would go out. If it's to the center fielder, over to the right fielder. 7, if you go out, try to return to the plate for a possible play, which is the same thing we do in the 2-man now. If the base umpire went out, and the plate man would fall in the first, second, third base, the base umpire should be coming back toward the plate for that play at the plate. So the plate man doesn't have to take all 4 bases. That looks good when you cover home plate on that. You're obviously responsible for the swipe tags and pulled foot on plays at first base, as well as running lane violations. You have primary responsibility. Basic principles for both umpires. All right, box. We're both in charge, except the stop. You might need one person having a little bit of better look. Foul balls in the batter's box. Now primary coverage from the plate umpire, but secondary from the bases. Catches obstruction, same thing. Give the plate umpire first shot, then it goes to the base umpire. Jump on it, base umpire, if you don't see it, if the plate man doesn't see it. Batter's interference, same thing. On a steal especially, because the plate umpire is going to call a ball a strike, then he's going to have to start drifting. He might not see the interference at home plate. Hit by pitch. Once again, plate umpire primary responsibility, base umpire secondary responsibility. You have to carry a plate brush with you. Don't brush off the pitcher's plate. This isn't another sport, but you both need a plate brush because occasionally you're both going to be brushing that plate off. Okay, starting positions. Kevin, you start with the plate umpire.
Here you go, guys. The normal C position. You line up your left foot in a line directly to the left edge of the dirt to the side of the home plate. Okay? And again, maintain, I don't know why that says 3 feet. Come on, Harry. Try to maintain the 6 foot. Like I said before, if the infield's in, you gotta come in. So wherever you're comfortable, but don't, and again, the questions were asked last week. What if the center field or shortstop asks you to move? You move 1 step. It's up to them to move. We can't take you out of that position. And we're not going to the B position with a lefty on the mound. We're staying in the C position. If you're in the normal C position, he'll never get in front of you. Go ahead, Danny.
Kevin, they're
Okay.
changing it to 3 feet, you know.
What's that?
Right now, stay with these distances. Okay. Starting positions for the base umpire. You want to be about 8 feet to 10 feet behind the first baseman. Play off the first baseman. Your right foot should be 1 inch off the line. This should have been going on all along anyways. 1 foot off the line. So if you get hit by a ball, it's probably a foul ball. You don't want to get hit in fair territory. Okay. And if there's nobody on base, you can walk in as the pitcher commits to the plate. 4 pickoffs. You're about 8 to 10 feet behind the first baseman. Play by off the first baseman. Don't use the base. Use that first baseman because sometimes they hold from 4 feet back. So keep that 8 to 10 feet behind the first baseman. 1 inch off the line. Then you turn your body in at about a 45-degree angle. You turn your left foot in so that you're angled a little bit towards the pitcher, and your hand should be on your thighs. This should have not been, this shouldn't be a change from anything that we've done in the past. Because as soon as that pitch is delivered, now your head's got to turn. You can't be turned too much toward that pitcher, because when that pitch is delivered, you've got to be able to see home plate. You've got to be able to see hit by pitches. You got to see the ball come off the bat to see where in the heck you're going. Okay?
Hey, no runners on. Me as the plate guy. Fly ball coverage. I've got all catches. Third base side to center fielder. Also the foul area from the catcher to the third base side. On routine fly balls, I have the big B. Anytime your partner goes out, you have all players on the bases until he yells that he'll be at the plate for you. On a fair foul, I've got the third base line. If you're not sure, we're gonna say rule it foul. This way each team still has a chance to make a play. Go ahead, Danny.
Okay? As the base umpire on ground balls, you're coming in and just getting in position for the play at the base. That's easy and that makes sense. If there's a fly ball, know your responsibilities. We don't want that base umpire going out all the time when he doesn't have to. On a fly ball, if it's at the right fielder coming toward the line, I know it's my catch. I'm going to say, Kevin, I got the ball, and I'm going to turn. I'm going to get set, and I'd have that responsibility. I know that Kevin's going to have the responsibility for fly balls if it's going the other way. If there's a base hit, what's going to happen is, just like we should have been doing in a 3 and 4 man system once it comes playoff time, in a base hit, and I'm hoping Barry can show it, but the base umpire is going to start hooking into foul territory, and he's going to start coming toward the base in foul territory, probably about 10 feet deep. And he's about in 5 feet past the base. He's going to stop and he's going to pause. Right about then is when the runner should be coming by, so you can take a quick look at him touching the base. Now, once he touches the base and I see there's not a throw in there, I'm going to get down to about the 45 and I'm going to set and I'm going to watch now. If he busts to second base, I'm all set. If there's a throwback into first base, I am there for that throwback into first base. Now, once he rounds second base, and remember the key, as soon as I see him break for third base, I'm hollering, Kevin, I'm at the plate. And I'm going to get down and I'm going to have a great look. Now, if there's any overthrows or anything, and that runner from second at some point decides that he's coming home. So once I'm at the plate, it keys Kevin, the plate umpire, that he has the other 3 bases. A throwback into first if the runner would be stupid and try to go back to first at that point. Once you say you're going home, the plate umpire has all the other bases. Okay, Kevin?
All right, with no runners on. First play, base hit, ground ball, play at first base, or a fly ball in the outfield. All I'm gonna do is watch for a swipe tag full foot and help my partner. That's all I can do. And, you know, move in closer to the mound, take a look, just help him out. If that ball gets by, you've got to be able to get back to second base. On a double, I'm staying in my working area. The working area changes, guys, with this. It's still behind the mound, but now it's going to curve down around to the right side of the mound, looking into the plate. Okay? So I'm watching, adjusting for a play at second or third. Same thing with a triple. I'm taking the guy into second and into third. So I drop down. And again, I'm not going to chase that guy. I'm dropping back towards the mound in my working area. Watch him hit second, take him into third. Home run, same thing. And again, the note, anytime your partner goes out, you have all plays until he tells you he's going to be at the plate for you. Go ahead, Danny.
Okay, I did know runners already, Kevin. So take
All right.
runners on first.
All right. Runners on first. Ground ball in the infield. I have to play at second base. I'm going to watch a swipe tag full foot. Fly ball in the outfield. I'll have possible catch, no catch. Touch it first if my partner goes out. But get ready for a play at second or third on a drop ball. On a base hit, I have any play at second or third. On a double, any play at second, third, possible throwback to first base with partner covering the plate. Because remember, when that guy commits to third, now I go back into my working area behind the mound and I might have a throwback at first base. Any play at third base possible. Okay. E and F, triple home run. I have all touches at second and third. My partner's gonna get the play. Go ahead, Danny.
Okay, the base umpire in this situation with the runner in first, it's on ground balls, it's simple. You obviously have to get into position for the play at first base, the tail end of the double play, or just a straight throw to first base. All right. On a fly ball, in this case here, a fly ball with a runner on first base. I've started where I'm in the pickoff position. So now there's a fly ball and I'm gonna stop backing off if I don't have the catch. I'm gonna stop backing off where I get to that position about 5 feet beyond first base, where I can stop. Now I can watch the runner possibly tagging up. And if he takes off, I know he's Kevin's. So now I can start drifting toward the 45. And once I get to the 45, I can just sit and wait. Now I watch, because if he rounds second base and breaks, the ball might have dropped, base hit or whatever. If the ball drops, as soon as I see the runner break from second to third, I'm at home, just like we do now. So now I can break from the 45 to home and I can get any angle I want for that play at the plate if the runner from first decides that he's going to be going all the way around. On base hits, if there's a base hit with a runner on first base, I'm going to start doing my hook, because the plate umpire is going to be taking him in a second and third. So now I'm coming into that 5 foot distance beyond the base. I'm taking a look. Now the runner doesn't commit from second to third, then I'm frozen at 45. We don't want to see that guy going to the plate, going to the plate, going to the plate all day when that runner's standing at second base. We see it all the time now when we work 3 and 4 man, and it shouldn't happen. So, but once that runner does commit beyond second base, breaks for third, I'm at home. Bang, I go get my position, and that tells the plate umpire that he has all 3 bases now. Kevin? Runner on second, I believe. Yeah.
Runner on second. Just be aware that you have a possible steal at third. And again, priorities, call your pitch first. Never get the ball strike first. And if you have to sacrifice distance for angle, that's what you do. Head towards the mound, get a better angle, you steal at third. On a ground ball, guys, I'm gonna have any play at third base. First play at third base on a ground ball, or a throwback at second. I'm right there. You're right there. And if there's an overthrow at third, it's mine to go get him at the plate. Come down on the inside, on the fair territory, because the ball's going to be out behind, coming from foul territory. That way you won't get hit with that throw. Fly ball, I'm going to line up the catch and the tag at second base. Take the runner into third base from second. On a base hit, watch him touch third, pick up the batter runner, because my buddy's going to be at the plate for me. Go ahead, Danny.
Okay, the base umpire, now we're talking runner at second only.
Yeah.
If there's a ground ball, I am getting in position for the play. I've got to anticipate a play at first base. So I'm getting in position there. If there's a fly ball, now I know there's a runner at second base. So now I'm going to start my 3-step deal. I'm going to start coming down in foul territory, and now I really got to get to the 45. So I'm going to skip looking at I'm going to have to watch a batter touch first. I'm sorry. So I'm going to get to that 10 foot distance. I'm going to watch him touch. Then when he touches, I'm going to come down and I'm going to get to that 45. Now I'm watching the runner at second base. If that runner on second base breaks for third, I'm hollering, Kevin, I'm at the plate. Now that frees Kevin up, and he knows that he's got first, second, and third. So now I can come down, I can get in a position at the plate for that play. On a base hit with a runner at second base, I'm busting to the plate, because I know the runner from second on a base hit is going to possibly try to score. So from where I am, I'm coming down, and there's no way he's going to beat me. But anyways, I'm going to be coming down, hustling my butt off. I don't have to pause at first. I might have to look over my shoulder to see if the bat is touching, but the important thing is to be able to get to the plate. So now on that base hit, I've got the runner from second coming in and trying to score. Okay, you're up, Kevin.
Yeah, runner on third.
Yeah.
Ground ball. I've got the play at the plate. The first play that originates from the infield, I've got it. Guys, open up with the ball. If the ball's hit the third, that's easy. It's hit the short, open up with the ball while you're running to the plate. If it's hit to the other side, open up to your left. Never put your head to the back of your head to the ball. Always see the ball. The ball's gonna take you to that play. Get to wherever you can. Stop and make your call at the plate. Fly ball, runner on third. Watch the catch and the tag at third. If there's a steal at home, give it what you got. You still priority, call ball strike. That safe out's gonna be next. Wild pitch, pass ball. You got both the plays at the plate, move the third baseline for a better angle if you can. I mean, it depends on where it comes, where it's going from. Go ahead, Danny.
Okay, the base umpire with a runner on third. I've got to get in a position. I've got to anticipate there's going to be a play at first base, so I'm getting into position for that on a ground ball. Because Kevin, or the plate umpire, we know he has the first play from the infield, so he has the plate. I don't have to worry about that on ground balls. On a fly ball, I'm going to start hooking down. I know that I have a play at the plate, so I'm going to start coming down in a foul territory. If I can look over my shoulder, fine. If I can see the batter touching first. If I don't, I don't. But I get the important thing for me is that runner from third. Now, once I get to that 45, I can say, Kevin, I'm at the plate. I'm at the plate. So now I'm getting in a position. Kevin, like he said, is going to be taking that tag up. But now this is a good help situation for that base umpire. If I see that the plate umpire now, because the ball's, let's say it's hit to right field, now he's got to start taking some steps towards right field to see the catch. He might say, yeah, this could be trouble. I can holler, Kevin, I've got the tag. I've got the tag, because I'm looking right down the line at the runner, and he's got the catch. I've got the tag, and we've got both ends of that runner covered. Okay, base hit. I just come in a normal position because the runner from third is going to score easily. So on a base hit, I'm just going to start hooking in a foul territory and make sure that that batter touches first. I'll look over my shoulder to see if I can see him touching the plate also. Okay, next situation.
Hold on. Your steals and your wild pitch, pass balls, Dan.
What's that?
The steal, wild pitch. Just watch for a possible drop ball or something that I didn't see. Okay, because
Yes.
it's my play at the plate.
Yeah.
So guys, I know C says nothing, but C and D should be the same. Watch for a possible play, drop ball, swipe tag. I might miss it. So
Check swing, you might have a check swing on a check swing in that situation. So the base umpire, it says nothing, but you're not doing nothing. You're looking for all the other stuff in there.
Right.
That fourth step that we have in priorities.
Yeah. All right. Runner on first and third. And a ground ball. Again, if the first play is at the plate, I've got it. But if they go for a double play, that's also mine. Second base, if the double plays are coming. So you got to try to read that. The best thing I can tell you is open up with the ball and go with it. Go with the throw. Fly ball. Remember, I've also got to watch that touch of the plate on the double play. I got to make my double play call and look real quick, make sure that runner touches home. That's a tough one. On a fly ball, watch it catch and tag at third. Take the runner from first into second. Okay. Base hit. This is whatever. Base hit, first and third. Same thing. That's B. Take them into third. In a steal, head to the working area, replays on first runner and batter runner. You have both. That's on a base hit. My bad. I've got the steal at second base. C and D should be reversed, Barry.
Oh, okay, I'll make a note.
Base hit, head to the working area, read the play on runner one and the batter runner, because you have both. All right? But still, you got to watch that tag at home. On a steal play, you got the steal at second, first and third. Go ahead.
Okay, the base umpire with the runner on first and third. Now, I believe this first and third situation is the toughest one we have out there.
Yeah.
Basically because of that double steal situation, but we're going to talk about that a little bit later. So the base umpire first and third, on a ground ball, you have to get set for the tail end of the double play, which it makes sense. If there's a fly ball, now I'm going to start hooking in a foul territory. because I have the runner on a fly ball situation. I'm coming down because I have the play at the plate. So once I get halfway, I'm gonna holler, Kevin, I'm at the plate. So now that's gonna free him up, and that tells him that he has first, second, and third. So on that fly ball, I'm coming in. If it's a fly ball situation where I have to stop and freeze because it's the right fielder going to the line, I've got to tell Kevin, I've got the ball, Kevin. Now that tells him that he's got to take that play at the plate too. In that case there, I'm probably going to take 4 or 5 steps. I'm going to stop and freeze. I'm going to watch the play. And then I know Kevin's at the plate, so I'm going to try to come right directly from where I am into the middle of the infield so I can help him out at second base, possibly even third base. So that's a situation where you're going to have to talk. First and third, if there's a hit, I'm going to start hooking in a foul territory. I'm going to get to that position just beyond 5 feet beyond first base, roughly. I'm going to stop. I'm going to take a look, and I'm going to watch what the runner from first is doing going to second. If now I'm going to start drifting to the 45, and that's where I set and look. And now I'm reading the runner who went from first to second. If he stays at second, I stay where I am, and I'm ready to go back to my A position. If that runner from second breaks for third, then I'm going to be coming to the plate. As soon as he commits to third base, Kevin, I've got the plate. Now that tells Kevin that he has all the bases. Next situation. Yeah, Kevin, you're out.
Yeah, I got it. Wait for him. First and second. Ground ball. I've got the first play at third or second. On a base hit, I've got to touch at third and second. Get in the working area for possible plays at second or third. On a fly ball, line up a catch, no catch, tag at second, and responsible for the play at third base or back into second. Extra base hit, responsible for all runners, plays, and touches at second and third base. Go ahead, Danny.
Yep. Runners at first and second. Ground balls, I have to get into position for the tail end of the double play. A fly ball, I'm going to start hooking, coming around and going through my 3-phase step. So I'm going to, once I get to probably my 10 feet from first base, I'm going to stop, I'm going to pause, I'm going to read the situation, see what the runners are doing, then I'm going to get to the 45. Now, if I see the runner from second commit to third base, what's the key? As soon as I see him commit to third base, Kevin, I'm going home. Now we're all set. I'm at the plate. Kevin's got all 3 bases. If he does not commit to third base, I'm set at the 45. That way there, if there's a throwback in a first base, I bounce into that. On a base hit with runners at first and second, base umpire gets to the plate. So as soon as there's a base hit, I'm coming to the plate. When I get to the 45, Kevin, I'm at the plate. Now that tells Kevin he has the bases, and I'm coming in at the plate, and I have any plays that's going to happen there. I could have 3 runners possibly coming in. Okay.
Second and third. On a ground ball, I'm going to have the play at the plate. Again, originates from the infield. First play at the plate and the play at second base. If they don't run and there's a throwback to either second or third, that's also mine. On a base hit, I got to touch at third, pick up the batter runner into second base or back into first base. On a fly ball, watch a catch and tags at third and second. If caught, take the runner from second into third base. Go ahead, Danny.
Yeah. The base umpire with the runners at second and third has to get into position on a ground ball for the play at first base. So that means Kevin's got to have the plays at the plate. So if he has the first runner coming from third, then he's also going to have the second runner coming from second. Remember what we said, once you're at the plate, you stay at the plate. So on a fly ball, I'm going to be hustling. I'm going to be getting into foul territory. When I get 10 feet from first base, look over my shoulder, see if I can see the batter touching first base. If I can, great. If I can't, so what? Now I'm going to get down to the 45. And once I hit the 45, that's when I can tell Kevin I'm at the plate. And that eases his mind. And now he knows what he's got to do, all 3 bases. Once I get to the plate, now I have, I'm going to have the plate to plate. Now, if I see that Kevin has to turn to the right field side to pay attention to that catch, That's my help situation. When a lot of talking in this, that's what's good about this system. Kevin, I'm at the plate. I get the tag. Now he can forget about the runner from third base, focus on the catch, and he can focus on the guy tagging from second to third. On a base hit, it's easy. I'm coming in from the bases and I'm going through my 3-step thing. I'm pausing when I get my first base, getting to the 45. Kevin, I'm at the plate. So now I can watch the runner from third touch. And I also have that play if the runner from second base is going to try to score.
Hey, Danny, you didn't mention going to second base when Kevin's at the plate in case the runner advances.
Right.
Yeah, once Kevin, if there would be a base hit in that situation, well, I'm at the plate on the base hit on
No,
a
the
ground ball.
The ground
Yeah.
ball.
Okay, so if there's a ground ball, Kevin has the plate. As soon as that's telling me, this is one time when you're coming into fair territory, and Kevin is telling me now, he's saying, Danny, I'm at the plate.
Right.
That's the key to me, that I have the 3 bases. So it's very important you can see talking. So when he said he's got to tell me he's at the plate,
Yeah.
because now I'm going to stop backing off like we do now. And I've got the batter going all around. I might have a throwback in a third base. So yes, good point. And remember, if as soon as he says he has the plate, that means I have the other 3 bases. Good point.
All right, bases loaded, guys. Can all of you remember the first time you did the bases in your 2-man system and you're in C position, you got bases loaded, you got every play. Basically, you got every play but first base here as the plate guy. Okay? You got the play at the plate, third base or second base. And again, you got to read the play. You got to read the play. It's going to be a tough one. But again, sacrifice distance for angle. And guys, usually the first play on these are not close. It's a tag play. If they go home to first, I got the play in the home. If the ball's hit the third baseman, he steps on third, goes to first, I've got that play. Take a quick look and watch the guy touch the plate. Now pick up the batter, runner in the third if he goes. There's all kinds of stuff
Does
here.
it for like swim class for Alice, like Thursdays.
Yeah.
So that might have been, she stopped soon.
Do you remember, Evan?
Oh, yeah.
That-
But he was instructional.
Somebody
coach last
needs
year,
to
I
be
believe.
muted.
No.
TJB.
Oh.
TJ,
Make
Yeah.
giving you mute. There you go. Thanks. Okay, guys. On a base hit, got all plays and touches at third and second. Okay. On a fly ball, if all the touches and plays at all the bases, if my partner goes out, but I've got second and third on a normal. Go ahead, Danny.
Okay. Bases loaded. The base umpire has got to get in a position for the play at first base, the tail end of any double play. And if it's a ground ball, we know Kevin, the plate umpire, is taking the plays at the plate. He's going to tell me he's at the plate.
Yeah.
So now that's telling me that I've got to take all 3 bases. So I've got to watch the batter go in a second, the runner from second and a third, etc. On a fly ball situation with the bases loaded, I'm going to start hooking around and going through my 3-phase steps. I'm going to about 10 feet from the base, take a look back, see if I can see the runner touch. I'm going to start coming down, Kevin. I'm at the plate. So now I'm set at the plate and I have the tag up of the runner I've got the play at the plate from third. Kevin still has the tag up unless the ball's to right field, and he's got to pay attention to that because it could be trouble, windy, whatever. And I see that his eyes are focused to right field. Now I can help him out and say, Kevin, I've got the tag. So now I've got the tag of the runner at third and I've got the play at the plate. And that frees Kevin up for the other 3 bases because I'm at the plate. On a base hit, I'm heading home as quick as I can, trying to catch the runner from third touching home. And now I'm at the plate. I'm at the plate for any plays at the plate.
Yeah.
Next slide.
Well, hold on, just a note. This is one of the big situations. First and third, first and second, bases loaded, guys. You gotta have multiple plays. And if I have a ground ball with bases loaded and I can call it from almost a couple steps from C, I'm gonna tell Danny that I'm staying there. So I can get that throwback to third or second because he's got the whacker at home. If I know they're going home to first, yell. any of these situations, you gotta talk to your partner. Shit's gonna happen. Balls are gonna be thrown out of play, out of bounds. They're gonna make errors and overthrow at third, overthrow at second, overthrow at first. Just communicate. Look the way your partner is and try to figure it out. You know, this isn't perfect, but it's the best thing we came up with. Go ahead.
Okay. Rundowns. We haven't talked about rundowns, and with the other group, we didn't. So you guys, this is a first. If you got a rundown between first and second with a runner in first or the batter runner, so you got a rundown over there. The base umpire and the plate umpire have the person boxed in. It's a perfect situation. All right, so you're gonna have great coverage in this. We have them boxed in, so we're both the chaser would be the plate umpire in this case, and the base umpire is locked into first base for that throw back into first base. The plate umpire can drift with the runner, take the play at second base, and all that. Now, if the ball would be overthrown and the runner in the rundown commits from second to third, that's the key for me to be able to get back to the plate. So that's a runner between first and second. We got both of us here. We got them boxed in perfect.
Yep.
Okay, next rundown situation. Second and third, got to be the plate umpire. Okay, the base umpire, Kevin, I'm at the plate. So I'm going to come down. I'm going to be at home plate. He's going to have that rundown all to himself. And if the guy's safe and he rounds third base, I'm sitting there waiting for him at the plate. Next one, Barry. The rundown between third and home. And here's the bitch play, folks. Okay. So now you got to think about this. The situation is a runners at first and possibly first and third. And now you've got a pitch. The plate umpire has got to call the ball or the strike, number one. All right. Now the runner from first breaks to second. The plate umpire has to have that play at second base. If the shortstop or a second baseman cuts that off and there's a throw to the plate, that plate umpire's got to stop, freeze, and he's got to take that play at the plate. This is a tough one. He's got to throw back into third base. So this is really a tough play. But the plate umpire has it all until the base umpire can get the home plate. So as a base umpire, I'm going to start hooking into foul territory. And as soon as I can get to that 45 and see that the runner hasn't broken yet, Kevin, I'm at the plate. Now I'm going to get there. And that allows the plate umpire to be aware of the runner who's on third base and first base, depending if they get him in the rundown, the plate umpire and the base umpire have that runner from third boxed in. We want the base umpire to stay anchored as a set umpire, and the plate umpire in this case would chase him between third and home. Now, if there's a rundown later on, we get a quick tag and a throw. Obviously, the plate umpire is in the field and he's got to take that. This is going to be, I think, the toughest play in this system, beside the fear of foul ball down the third baseline. Next, Barry. Okay, now, a couple of key things, and this is something that we weren't doing statewide on a consistent basis. When you're in the middle of the infield, you've got to be in the ready position. You've got to be set as soon as that ball is on the mound with the pitcher. You should have been all along, but sometimes I see guys standing up. I see guys with their arms folded. When that pitcher has the ball in the rubber, you should be set, because that's the key, that he's on the rubber. And if he drops the ball, it's a balk. If he does something illegal, it's a balk, but you got to be set. We want to talk about the strike signal a little bit, because you know me, I go to the side and I've always gone to the side. But I'm seeing this as, if I go out to the side, that my base umpire might not see a strike call. So I'm going to try to come straight up. I'm going to try to leave it up in the air a little bit longer than I normally do. So that gives the base umpire a chance to look in at home plate, check swing and all that, and still take a quick look at me and see the hand in the air for a strike. So I believe it's going to be a lot better to call strikes straight up. If you do go to the side, don't take your heads off the home plate area. And something I want to caution you on, and I'm the worst at it, as a strike three, ringing somebody's butt up. I pull my head and I'm swinging away, but I've got to find a way, whether it be the chainsaw with my head not leaving the home plate area, or ringing somebody out with my hand coming across the body, somewhat like counting a basket in basketball. You've got to keep your head focused on the home plate area. You can't pull your head out of there, whatever you do with a strike signal. Next slide, Barry. Okay, foul, now this is something that we have all been doing. A foul ball, look in the rule book, it's the hands are straight in the air. It's important that they come straight in the air. Don't just point that it's a foul ball and point to foul territory. A foul ball is two hands straight in the air. If it's a fair ball, point. This is something that we do not around the state, where we should, 100% of our umpires should be signaling a foul ball straight up. Now, if it is a foul ball and your hands are straight up and you've called it a foul ball, your partner sees a foul ball, if you want to come and drop the hand and point into foul territory, that's okay. But the foul ball signal, you get your hands straight up in the air. Fair ball is a point. Next slide, if we got one there.
That's it, Danny. Danny,
yeah.
you wanted to talk a little bit about plays in front of the plate.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Barry. That's one that we did leave out in the original original presentation. You remember that, fellas, you know, the chop is in front of the plate. That's a tough one, but the key is remember the glove coming at you. So if the first base umpire sees the catcher's glove coming at him, he's got to jump on the fair or foul because he's going to have that angle looking down the line. If the catcher's glove comes out down the third base line, the base umpire can't help with that. So if the gloves come on the side, jump on that fair or foul situation. So the plate umpire sees the catcher opening up, then now it's going to be his call if it's going to be fair or foul. Now, talking about those situations, if it's a bunt or a slow chopper down the third baseline, you've got to start coming down, staying out of the third baseman's way and trying to get a good shot if that ball is going to be fair or foul. A lot of common sense can be involved in this. If the fielder's coming down with his whole body in fair territory and he reaches straight ahead, it's telling you common sense wise that that's a fair ball if he touches it. If he reaches across his body in a foul territory, now that's when you get into the guess situation and probably a foul ball would be the proper call. If you have a fly ball in the infield, get to the line away from the fielders. If you can get right straddling that line and the coach can see you're on that line, he's going to see that you're hustling and you're less likely to get an argument. You get a deep fly ball down the left field line, there's no reason why you can't drift, hustle and drift and get to that foul line, probably from where the plate umpire is now, come straight to the foul. Yes, straight to the foul line, straddle the line, and you can watch the outfielder touch the, where he touches the ball like in a normal situation. Can you always get to that line? Probably not. But if it's in the air long enough, you probably should be able to if you're hustling and drifting as the ball is in the air. Thanks, Barry. Good point. Is that the last slide, Barry?
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, now I want to say just a couple things, folks. We're traditionalists, Jeff, myself, Kevin, we want to work behind the plate and we're hoping that that's what the situation is. Right now, the state is telling us that we can't do it. So it's not like we want to do this. We want to work behind the plate, but we realize that that's a possibility that we won't be working. The state might not let us. If they don't let us, then we wanted you guys prepared to be able to cover this two-man system. And that's why I wanted to get out to everybody in the state. And at this point now, at least all the interpreters have it so they can get it out to their board. This isn't something that we were in favor of. I mean, but we're going to be ready if it happens. And if they switch us during the year, fine. But we're going to get you guys ready, which has always been my goal as a state interpreter. But I want it on record that I want to work behind the plate. And I'm sure that Barry does. And I'm sure that Kevin does. And I'm sure that Jeff does. But if the state says no, it's no. And we don't have a choice. But we do have to all work the same way. So interpreters, please get this message out to your boards. And please teach this system. You guys, the interpreters are the experts. And I've been in meetings with you, well, not all of you, but some of you for 35 years since I've been doing this. And we've all done it. We've worked to do it the same way. So you are the experts. Get that information out to your members so that they're ready to go day one, whether they're behind the plate or whether they're working out by the pitcher. We are ready for any questions.
Danny, speaking of that, obviously not everyone's going to absorb everything that you and Kevin talked about today. So we're going to figure out a way in Central Maine to get a copy of this to everyone, or at the very minimum, put it on our website so that people can reference it, before they go to the game or the night before or whatever. So we, you know, this is not a one-time thing. We gotta, the Central Maine guys, we gotta make sure that we're studying this and pre-game more important than ever, probably, if we end up with this system.
Jeff,
Jeff.
any questions?
I do. I've got 5. So first point is the 3-foot distance is for classroom only. It does not apply to athletics because I asked that question when it came out on Friday. So it's still 6 feet
6 feet.
So,
for even if a teacher in a classroom still has to be 6 feet. That 3 foot is just for students only in a classroom. So here's the first question. Runner on third, there's a trouble ball on the first base U1 side. Are we going out from first?
Yes,
Or
we
switch-
go out for, if it's a troubled ball, nothing has changed. Go out, get the catch or no catch right. That is very important. And that will allow the plate umpire to take the tag and the play at first base. And when we finish, I do have something on the baseball committee meeting at the fine point, the home plate conferences, baseballs, and I'll get back to that. But yes, we go out and the plate umpire now takes the play at the plate.
Yep.
Next question.
Next one. Every time the base umpire goes to home, is he going to have to avoid the batter runner making a wide turn in foul territory, or should we break to the fair side?
Never fair territory, never fair territory. When you get used to this, and if you've worked a 3 or 4 man system, when you start hooking into foul territory and getting a little depth, the runner's gonna be coming down and you can key off him, but stay to the foul side of him. And you're gonna hook around the outside of him and get into the plate. Do not go to the inside. That's gonna cause problems if he's running in fair territory. So you hook down into foul territory, runner's coming on the inside. He'll be in the 3-foot running lane area. And by time he starts hooking out, when he gets within 10 feet of first base, you are easily beyond him, but you get depth towards the dugout. Next
Okay,
question.
Next one. Runner on third, runner on first. Please talk about a legal slide, especially at second base.
No change. The
What-
plate
What
umpire,
takes the priority, the touch of home or the illegal slide?
illegal slide, because an illegal slide is gonna kill the whole play anyways. So the key here is gonna be saves or routes at second base. So the plate umpire has got to stay with that play. He's got to get the play right at second base. The first base umpire gets it. We've got to anticipate that the runner from third is going to touch home plate. If he doesn't, you got to keep the play at second base is more important than the runner touching home in this case.
And who should have the primary call for interference, plate umpire or the base umpire?
It depends where the interference is. If it's at second base, you've got the plate umpire who has to play at second. If it's at home plate, the primary coverage would be the plate umpire, because somebody needs to be on mute there. I'm having a hard time.
Danny, you're echoing, that's the problem.
Okay, thank you. I'm probably too close to the screen. What was I covering then? I lost my train of thought on that.
Interference.
Who?
Yeah,
Primary
so-
call for interference, plate or
Plate
base?
if it's in a home plate umpire, primary is the plate umpire, secondary is the base umpire.
Okay. Here's a question. If we have the vaccine, will that change the MPA's decision on being by the plate and wearing a mask?
Well, the deal is this, if I don't know the answer to that, Jeff, and I don't
do.
think,
I do.
okay, great. That's your
So
answer.
we're
then.
gonna have to wear a mask.
I'm getting to that on my other, okay.
You're gonna have to wear a mask. Even if you have the vaccine, until they tell us that we can go back behind the plate, we will be behind the mound. And that decision will be made by the Sports Medicine Committee. And they don't meet again till, I believe, April 13th. Signals to your partner was one of the questions. Are we still using the same signals that we used?
Yes.
First?
Nothing has changed. The signals are in the book. What we try to do with this is change as little as possible so that we could communicate with our partners. So give them all the signals that you have been given.
Um,
Danny, before you go on,
Personal decision if an umpire wants to wear a helmet as the plate umpire out in the diamond.
Let him wear what he wants. If he feels safer with that, go ahead.
This was a message from Jeff Mertzel. Don't forget the part 2 test opens up tomorrow. So you can access it tomorrow for the part 2 test. Can a vaccinated umpire work behind the plate? Nope. Not until they tell us we all can go behind the plate. Even if you've had your vaccination, that'll be good. Because if you've had your vaccination and we have a close contact and you've been vaccinated and it's been 14 days since your second shot, you will not have to quarantine because you've been vaccinated. If there's an outbreak on a field somewhere, and hopefully there won't be, and you're determined as a close contact to somebody, that's why we're doing this system, is we're trying to keep us away so we don't have a close contact. Understand, this system is for safety of players and umpires, both. That's
Now
why
I have
Sports Medicine
minutes.
Committee put it
Oh,
that-
I'm sorry. I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I thought you had done, Jeff. Okay,
Go
I have
ahead.
notes from the baseball committee meeting that we need to know. We talked about travel. Umpires should be traveling alone, unless you got extenuating circumstances. But we have told them that we probably are going to be traveling alone. We don't want to make our bubble bigger. But if you got a father-son combination that are living together, you can ride together. We got to be careful though in this case, because what we don't want to have to happen is that both umpires are paid travel and then the AD sees both of you drive up in one car. So you got to keep in good communication with your assigner. Lineup cards. Lineup cards are going to be exchanged between the teams, the coaches, ahead of time. So they're going to have taken care of them sharing the lineup cards with each other. When we get to home plate, then we are going to have both umpires at home plate, the head coach, and one captain. And then the plate umpire will take the lineup cards from the home team and then the visiting team, because he's in charge of keeping track of the lineup cards. There'll be no handshakes at home plate. You must be wearing a mask at home plate, and you got to keep social distance. Right now, you got to keep 6 feet from anyone there. So it's going to be, you get them spread out a little bit. Now you got to ask the questions that you ask at home plate. We did have to add one, but the questions at home plate, okay, sportsmanship, it's all our job to make sure it goes well today. That's what we've been doing anyways. Coaches, all your equipment's legal. We've been doing that anyways. And is there a trainer on site? We've been doing that anyways. The last thing that you have to ask, do you have a person today supplying the legal baseballs, the legal Noxie baseballs to the umpire? So from the home team, they should be finding a way to get the baseballs to the plate umpire, who should be carrying a ball bag now. Baseballs, they're going to be supplied by the defensive team, and the defensive team is going to get them to the umpire just like in the past. So the plate umpire will need to have his ball bag or ball bags with him, because the team is going to get you the baseballs. In between innings, fill up. If it's in the middle of an inning, then make sure that the coach has somebody ready to get you one. Dugouts.
Danny,
Yes, yes.
it's the home team that supplies baseballs.
Yeah,
The
so-
home team is supplying the baseballs just like in the past.
Yes,
They will get them to the home plate umpire, just like in the past. And the home plate umpire will get them to the pitcher, just as in the past.
Yeah.
They'll be just coming from a different spot from the umpire. Okay, dugouts. By rule, they are going to be extending the dugouts towards the right field line, parallel, and all that stuff. And they should be marking these off with chalk. They're going to try to get them behind a fence if there is a fence. The other situation that you might see is now the players may have a place between the dugout and home plate. So they might be 3 or 4 players in the stands. Who knows what they're going to have, but they might need that area because they're not going to have enough room. The coaches still must remain in the dugouts. The coaches cannot get closer to home plate than the dugout. Okay. Mask must be worn by participants at all times, including the umpires as of now. And the umpire mask should be a dark, solid color. If it's the hospital mask that they have now that has that light blue. That is okay, but what they don't want is white or gray because of the ball coming from the umpire's direction. The other thing, two things. If a coach comes out to ask a question, he cannot come any further than the foul line. He's going to stop the foul line. And we're going to be instructing them not to come out on safes and outs, stuff like that, obviously, which they're supposed to not be able to do anyways by rule. But if they have a question about a rule that might have been misinterpreted or a pulled foot, swipe tag, that type of thing, then they come to the foul line and we do just as we did in the past. Coach, it was my call and I got a good look. Or coach, yeah, I'll go to my partner, see if he might have had something different than me. Then the coach goes back to the dugout and we deal with that. Now, the last thing that I have from the MPA, the pitcher, now they cannot go to their mouth. If they go to their mouth at all, and at any time, it is a ball. You throw the ball to the dugout, get another ball out of your ball bag. Automatic, it's a ball if they go to their mouth. What they can do is the pitchers are going to be allowed to carry a damp cloth and a bit water-based damp cloth in their back pocket. So they can go into their back pocket, moisten their fingers, then they must wipe off. If they do not wipe off and they go from that damp cloth to the ball, that's a ball. And a ball is awarded to the batter. Same circumstance. So it's always a ball, not a balk, every time they go to their mouth and don't wipe. And there are no warnings, 0 warnings. We talked about that in the MPA committee meeting. They want us going right by the rule book on that. It is a ball. That is all that I have.
I got a couple more questions that came through.
Great.
We got a deep fly ball. Umpire goes to the third base line. Does the base ump follow the runner into second? The batter runner into second?
In that case there, yes, you're gonna have to work with each other. If the plate umpire is going down, that's a great question. If the plate umpire is getting the angle there, the base umpire's got to read that. Hey, I've got the runner, so now I'm gonna be able to take.
Danny, I got the ball. That's his key. And he's keying off me.
Once
There's
the
a lot of
umpire,
these broken plays, you gotta key off each other. Go ahead, Danny.
that's why it's really important that we're going back to the basics. I've got the ball, I've got the runner, talk to each other.
Next one, we got runners on first and third. The runner on first, double steal, trying to cause a rundown so the runner can steal home. In other words, are we talking?
Yeah.
Saying, I've got the plate, I've got second, what do we do?
We talked about that one in the double rundown, but just a quick reminder, as that runner gets in that rundown between first and second, I'm hollering, Kevin, I'm going to the plate. So now I can bust my ass to the plate, and that allows Kevin to take the plate umpire to take that rundown and stay with the whole thing. And when that runner from third breaks, I'm sitting at the plate. So the plate umpire has got to realize that he has that runner at third base until he hears me, he hears the base umpire say, I'm at the plate. Then that releases the plate umpire where he can go into that other runner and be ready for a throwback into third. Great question.
And the last question was, with baseballs that are supplied by the home team, do they use a different set for each team? No, we do not use a different set for each team. So there's not 6 for the visitors and 6 for home. They'll start with whatever we have. It's been said that the spread of this disease is by droplets and not by touching of equipment and off a bat or off a helmet or off the ball. So that's why we stayed with the MPA did and said, and sports medicine said that you would likely you would not contact it from a baseball.
And with that being said, Jeff, we would encourage, we know that both umpires need a plate brush because they're going to be brushing it off. The plate umpire is going to need a indicator, a brush, a pen and a pad. He's also going to need a ball bag or 2. And we would recommend that you carry hand sanitizer with you. So maybe at the end of each inning, you can just get your hands sanitized in between innings.
Danny.
Anything else?
Yeah, Danny, you talked about signals. The rotation signal is going to be used a lot more in this system. Because the rotation is every time you know, every time the base umpire goes to the plate, that's a rotation situation.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, it's gonna be almost like, not every time, but it's gonna be probably more often than not when you've got runners on, so. The second thing is, and this is for Jeff, Jeff, I know in basketball, we were quarantined based on the school nurse's decision that we spent 15 minutes with someone. In the case of this, if we're wearing masks and we're maintaining 6 feet distance, how can we be 15 minutes? Is it the same process we're gonna go through for baseball?
I would assume until they change it, if the main CDC says the school nurse doesn't have that, that decision to make. It's certainly a question that I can ask and try to find out, Barry. I do know in the fall, we only had one instance where it was deemed that they were close for 15 minutes being outside. And being outside is certainly easier for us to maintain that distance than it is in the winter time where the school nurse just said everybody would have to quarantine. And so
Jeff,
that's pieces, we've been vaccinated and you've gone 14 days beyond the second shot. That's certainly going to help you out. Go ahead.
Jeff, I talked with Mike and I had a conversation on Friday
Yep.
in and around that about the 6 feet and with a mask.
Yeah.
Because my question was, what do we, if we're gonna have to quarantine, it was because we're we're within 6 feet, if we're working, as the plate guy out by the mound,
Right.
what are we gaining? Because we're gonna have to quarantine anyway. And he said that by being out by the mound and working as the plate guy, that because we're outside and masked, he does not feel that there's really gonna be a time where it's going to be a very unusual circumstance where we're going to also have to quarantine.
Correct.
Plus your distance, as a plate umpire out there, Jeff, you're going to be probably,
Well, that's
I'd say 10 to
what Mike
15.
said. Right.
yeah, you'd be 10 to 15 feet away from the pitcher, if not more, when you're working at C position. So you
Right.
shouldn't be in a 6-foot distance within anybody during the course of that game.
Right. And Mike really feels that if it got to a kid tested positive during the game, that this really should keep us from having to quarantine at all.
Right.
Good point, Jeff.
Danny,
and
next,
Can I add something else?
Go ahead, Kev.
On tag plays, don't get your nose right in there. Stand back a little.
Yeah.
Try to keep, I hate to say it, keep your distance. 6 feet is fine. I know Danny and I, we get our nose right in there. You can't do that. You can't do that. And again, it will look good if we stay that at least 6 feet.
And a good distance, once again, like that home plate umpire by the pitcher, a good distance is really being back probably 10, 15 feet anyways, because you can see more of the field.
I was just kind of piggybacking off my question about chasing the ball down the first base line as you won. We've got multiple runners on. Are we still going to do that and then leave everything to the plate umpire? Or are we going to err on the side of not going when we have multiple runners on a trouble ball from the center field or all the way over?
Yeah, that's a good question, Jeff. And number one, we got to use really good judgment and going out. A lot of times we're going out when we shouldn't. So we got to be very, very cautious of that, number one. Number two, I found in a 3-man and a 4-man is that first base umpire. When you go out, you can really turn and you really got time to take only 5 to 10 steps when you got to stop and lock in to see that ball hit. So there's nothing wrong with going 5, 10 steps, stop freezing, then get back in. And typically you say when you should go out, don't come back. But in this, we're going to have to come back to help our partner. Great question.
Are we going to switch responsibilities? The plate guy coming and then the base guy getting back into the working area?
Yes. Come back. The plate man, obviously, in that case, has got to take plays at the plate. He's going to be at the plate. So he's going to say that. So I know that I have the other 3 bases, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to try to freeze and then I'm going to get back in. It's easy to me to get back in to first and second base because from where I'm coming from, if it's that troubled ball, I'm going to be coming back right down the middle of the diamond and I can get there. The
Okay.
trouble play might be at third base, But
Yep.
if the plate umpire came from the middle of the infield towards home plate, he's on the inside now, Jeff. So it's very easy for him to stop and freeze and then go back into third base and say, hey, Danny, I'm at third, and
Right.
talk. This is going to be,
Yep.
talking in this is going to be so key, so
Okay.
key. Work with each other. You're a team. And in this system, you're going to see how you're always working with your partner.
Danny, I think you mentioned this, but coaches that have a question about a play, they're not allowed to come into the diamond at all, correct?
Correct. Foul line. They must stop at the foul line.
Okay, now, on this situation where we have something down the third base line and we're gonna do the best we can with it, and we're gonna call it foul if we really don't know.
Yeah.
Are we gonna take challenges on that at all?
No challenge. There's no challenge. Oh, you mean a coach arguing?
Yeah,
No, what the coaches are going to be told, this is the one flaw in this system that is, we just are not going to have the coverage. I'm going to tell the coaches, we're going to hustle, we're going to drift on the play. And coaches, if you see umpires busting their butt on that play all day, let your assigner know that you've got an umpire working, because he could be working a regional or a state game. This is
Yeah.
a good chance. And in that case there, coach, from where I was, the best look I had, it was a foul ball. I'm not going to say, well, I didn't see it, so I called it foul. I'm not going to go that and let him know I didn't see it personally. I'm going to say, coach, from where I was, the best angle I had, I have a foul ball on that. And I think 90% of the coaches, if not more, are going to be good with that, because they're going to realize, you know what, they're going to be just happy to be playing baseball. And if they want to argue about that play, then you know what? That's going to be one of the ones that, well, we might have a problem. Well, you're probably going to have a problem with that coach anyways.
Barry, that was a question that I asked during the official advisory committee the other day and brought it up. And Roy, because we all know that everything sounds good to these coaches right now until we stop playing for keeps.
right.
And Roy made a really, really good point that it's going to be the responsibility of the athletic administrators to really stress to their coaches and their staffs that this is not the ideal situation with which we're working in the most ideal system in terms of mechanics. And for them, that hopefully they're going to understand that there are going to be holes in the system, and to educate them on how to handle these situations and realize that we're doing the best we can in these circumstances.
And you know
So-
what else I've noticed, Jeff?
Roy made a really good point.
What else I've noticed, Jeff? You know what? I've done more than one varsity game by myself. And coaches, when they see that situation, they usually, and I've had some of the toughest coaches. I had Bruce Lucas and Mike DeAndrea, back when both teams were good. And I'll tell you what, I was the only umpire. Jeff Benson was the AD/ADL, and we went out there and they worked with me. And I says, look, I'm gonna just give you the best game I can. And after didn't get one argument the whole game. And after the game, Jeff said, here, take both checks. You deserve it. Thanks, Jeff.
You're welcome.
And I did deserve it.
So Danny, you are going to bring that up at the meeting you have with coaches, and
Definitely. That's one thing I'm going to talk to them about. You're not going to get the best coverage all times, but you know what? There's going to be other plays you are going to get. And there's going to be, here's our toughest one. And I'm going to let them know the toughest one.
one more question from me. This is maybe to Jeff or to you or to Kevin, I'm not sure, but I don't know if all three of you are gonna sit on that sports medicine, but is someone gonna pitch the umpire's case for working behind the plate, given, and I've polled probably half the board on Central Maine, and like you and Jeff and Kevin all want to work behind the plate too. So are we gonna go in there advocating for masks and working behind the plate and social and also quarantining if we're not vaccinated? Are we gonna go in and advocate in that direction?
This is Dan speaking. Personally, I'm not involved with the sport medicine committee whatsoever, so I would not have an answer to that piece. My answer for me is that I have to do what the baseball committee and Mike Burnham tell me what to do. Jeff probably would be the person who would have insight on the main medicine committee.
I will ask those questions to sports medicine, Barry. And
Barry, yep. The other thing that I've heard, and Jeff, this was a conversation with Mike as well, that I think kind of needs to get out there is that people may hear that the softball umpires, you know where I'm going, right?
Uh-huh.
The softball umpires have, through the softball committee, been given the okay, and they are going to be going to the sports medicine committee advocating that they can work behind home plate with this caveat that they are working behind home plate from 6 feet behind the catcher. And what's that?
I challenge you, Jeff.
No, that's what I'm saying. So I don't want people to think that what they hear that the softball umpires are working behind home plate and why we're not. They're going to be working behind home plate, but they're going to be 6 feet behind. And I know that there's been a few people through the MPA that have already said that basically that they have no chance of getting anything right, kind of from 6 feet back. Think of how hard that's going to be. And think of the number of foul balls that go whizzing by our head and that we don't get hit with, and how many of those we would get hit with if we were standing 6 feet behind the catcher trying to call balls and strikes. So we are in a much safer place behind the mound than we are 3 to 6 feet behind the catcher.
And now I have a science lesson for each and every one of you. I did this. I took a chair and I put it behind a home plate in my cellar. And I backed up 1 step behind, deeper than I normally would be. 1 step, probably 1.5 feet. And I looked and I couldn't see half of the plate. I backed up 3, which is probably typical for me anyways. I backed up 3 feet and now I could see no part of the plate. And I was losing sight of the right-handed batter's box when I was on the left side in the left slot. I moved 6 feet back there and I could not see any of the plate. I couldn't see hardly any of the batter's box. Try that. You can't get pitches right for from 6 feet back. You can't see the plate.
Danny, you're misunderstanding my point. My point was that we go in and advocate for doing our normal job, not 6 feet behind, not 3 feet behind, not behind the mound. That's what I'm saying. In the interest of advocating for the umpires as a whole, I was just wondering who pleads that case.
I agree. I think the person who has access to the sports medicine committee is Jeff. I think Jeff's got some say in that.
Yeah,
there's a member from every sport on there. So Todd Livingston would be the person that we would be, if we want to advocate from the baseball committee to that.
Oh, okay. That's great. And, and it would be good for, one of you guys to talk to Todd and say, hey, look, this is where the bulk of our umpires, and I haven't done an official survey, but the bulk of our umpires would rather work in their normal position behind the plate. Now, if we can't be behind the plate, then obviously, I think most of us would agree we don't want to be 6 feet back, so we'll go out behind the mound. But the bottom line is we're going to do whatever we have to do per the MPA's decision. And anyone that doesn't want to work, they don't work. That's their choice. And I don't blame them for that. I'm just saying that's every umpire's decision.
Correct.
So, Barry, you said advocate for normal working position. And what was your point on vaccinations?
Well, my question was just when we advocate, say, look, if we're not vaccinated, then we would accept the quarantine requirement if that's what they chose to do. And that's my opinion, and I think that's fair compared to where we just came off from basketball, same way. And obviously you're going to be 15 minutes within the distance.
Hey, listen, as a state interpreter, I want to thank you guys. Hopefully we're back to our regular way by the time the season starts and we can finish it that way. If not, I'm hoping that this presentation by Kevin, myself, Barry, and Jeff gave you the background so that you can start thinking, oh, this is how umpires work together. And that's what we really tried to do tonight. So I personally am going to stay on because I'm a dual member and I'm a member of Central Maine. So I'm going to be on the regular meeting, but I think our time is up. And thank you, interpreters. Please get this message out to your board. And good luck. And if you have any questions, interpreters, trying to reach myself, Jeff, or Kevin, we're the ones that put the system together. So any one of us three can give you a good answer, as well as Barry, who really has put this together on all the slides. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, and for Central Maine officials, we will be following up with this same presentation, just so we've seen it at least twice. So, thank you.